Welcome to Barbaresco, a small community in the south of the Piedmont region, just a few miles from the city of Alba. We are in the heart of the Langhe, the sweet pre-Alps, a land of great wines, aged meats, white truffles, and the best cheese, a true Italian gastronomic paradise. Barbaresco is a small town with less than 650 inhabitants, but well known around the world because it is also the name of a great wine. The original zone is made up of 4 small communities: Barbaresco, Nave, Trezo, en004 di Elvio, fractions of Alba. The steep hills are literally covered with vineyards. In fact, many grape varietals are produced here, but the Nebbiolo grape is always planted in the best soil with perfect sun exposure. It is the hard work of man that creates a synergy that is almost mythical, which grows the magical Barbaresco. With 700 hectares of Nebbiolo grapes, which produces about 4 million bottles every year. Nebbiolo is a late harvest grape with a particularly long growing season. In fact, it is the first to sprout in late March and the last to be picked, normally in the first half of October. It is also very sensitive to slight variations in the composition of the soil and the climate, more so than most grape varietals. In the zone of Barbaresco, the Nebbiolo is cultivated at 200 to 400 meters above sea level. The soil is silty clay and rich in limestone, also known as white soil, which gives elegance, complexity, and power to the grape. The continental climate with hot summers and cold winters, along with thick fog in the spring and fall, create a cornice around the Nebbiolo harvest. The variety has always been cultivated in these hills, but the wine Barbaresco unofficially dates back to around 1894. In that year, Domizio Cavazza, then director of the Royal School of Enology in Alba and a resident of Barbaresco, observed that the Nebbiolo grown in Barbaresco had some diverse characteristics from the same grape used to make Barolo. He decided to bring together 9 farmers from the town and give life to the castle by creating the social cantina of Barbaresco for the production of luxury food and wine. Cavazza deeply identified the wine in his territory by creating a wine map that is still used today as the label for the producers of Barbaresco, where they recite an ode to the uniqueness of the wine and its elegance. In you, we have softened the rawness and the austerity of your famous cousin, the Barolo. Referring to that extraordinary experience of Don Fiorino Marengo, who was the pastor of Barbaresco, who convinced 19 farmers to join the group and founded the producers of Barbaresco. The objective, then, which is the same as now, is to classify and guarantee the wine and the territory. The Producers of Barbaresco is an individual wine cooperative that has been considered the most prestigious of the area and sets an example for other cooperatives around the world. At the heart of their success is a few simple yet fundamental rules. Create wine only using Nebbiolo grapes from Barbaresco, limiting yields in the vineyards, reward the quality of the products supplied, giving value to the great vineyards and their origin. When all the other grapes are harvested and the fall has arrived, the little red baskets line the Barbaresco hills. This signals that the harvest has begun. All the grapes are hand-picked in small baskets to preserve the integrity of the precious grapes. One by one, the tractors line the main square. The grapes are then weighed, crushed, and assessed for their quality, measuring the sugar, intensity, and hue. Only then they are put into the fermentation tanks, divided by their origin and by their quality. The 9 most historical and prestigious vineyards of the town of Barbaresco produced 9 Barbaresco reserves, and only from the best vintages. It is the maximum expression of the terroir, with very slight differences in climate, terrain, and exposition that gives each wine a diverse characteristic. The names of the Barbarescos of excellence are Asili, Moncagatto, Monteficco, Monte Stefano, Ovello, Paillet, Pora, Rabaya, Rio Sordo. Grapes from the younger vineyards are fermented separately to obtain the Langhe Nebbiolo that is brilliant and spiced. Lastly, about half the total production of Nebbiolo grapes are used for the Barbaresco wine, representing the best quality from every vintage from the territory.